Hello everybody, today is Easter Sunday, April 4th, and I am going to check out a couple hives here because we have some nice weather going, and some of these hives had enough bees in them that I want to check and see if we have drones yet, or if there are queen cells yet, or anything like that. I want to see what's going on in these hives. So I'm going to crack into this first one here. This one we condensed down to a single brood box. And as soon as they fill out 7 or so frames with eggs and larvae, I will add a second box to this. But I don't want to do that until there's enough bees to be able to fill in that space. So they're actually drawing out some comb on the inner cover here. Give them a little smoke on the frames here. There's bees on every single frame, so that's a good sign. They are filling up with bees, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily filling up with eggs and larvae. I want to start with the end frame always. Doesn't matter which end, as long as you pick an end frame. That way it reduces the chance of crushing the queen. The queen is much less likely to be on an end frame. That first frame had some capped over honey. Second frame is almost completely capped over honey. Probably most likely left from last year, a lot of this. But that's good. That means they got some food resources going in here in case we had another cold spell. Honey frames should always be to the outside of the hive. And then you want your eggs and larvae and brood towards the center so it stays warmer. What do I got going here? And this one, it looks like there's just honey and nectar on both sides of this. No eggs in here yet. These are actually pretty calm for the first hive inspection of the season. I've got a good amount of pollen in this one. What's going on here? Oh, this side has a lot of pollen down inside there. You can see all that pollen, all that orange down in there is pollen. Some of that might be the pollen substitute, the feed that I've been giving them. They need the pollen to produce and to raise their larvae. And if you can trick them into thinking there are plants in bloom and pollen available for them to gather, they will lay more rapidly. The queen will lay more rapidly. So we put out pollen substitute to make them think that spring is a lot closer than what it really is to them. There's not a lot of plants out there right now for them to bring pollen in from, but it looks like it's working. All of this brown is capped over brood. That was eggs that turned into larvae, and then they capped it over so that larva can turn into a bee and hatch out. All of that is worker brood so far. It's all flat for the most part, so it's worker brood. Same thing on this side. I do not see the queen on here, so we're going to keep on going. Now that I've made it this far and I'm seeing some good brood frame, I want to see a queen. Here's another completely filled out, beautiful brood frame. There's eggs and larvae in almost all of those uncapped cells. Let's check out this side. This side is showing the same thing. Lots and lots of capped over brood, lots of eggs, and lots of larvae growing in there. And lots of young bees. Let's see if I can find a young bee. Okay, so here is a young bee. Let's see if I can get it on camera here for you. It's this little guy here in the center He's kind of moving off that way. He's fuzzy. I shouldn't be saying he. She is fuzzy. She is right there. Fuzzy little bee. That's a bee that just emerged recently. So 2 good frames of brood. No drone cells yet. Here's another brood frame. Lots of young bees again. Lots of pollen stored on this brood frame. Yeah, there's a couple eggs on here. Oh, well, right, there's the queen in the center. Let's get you a good look at the queen here. There she is. She's the long one right here in the middle. She's right there. Hard to see, especially when I keep reaching in front of your light. Okay, put that back. I'm gonna go over another frame, see what's going on here. But she is working that way based off the looks of it. Yep, and this is all nectar and pollen. So I'm going to move that frame over, snug up against her, and I'm going to put this honey frame back in, and we'll call that an inspection. We know we got 3 good frames of brood at least going in there. We got a good laying queen. The hive is filling out with the warmer temperatures. This hive is probably going to explode pretty quickly. I do not need this extra rim on here anymore, so I'm going to break that free from the cover. And I'm going to close up. Center that for a good laying queen.